The Young and the Restless Spoilers. Sharon sat alone in her dimly lit living room, the soft glow of the fireplace casting dancing shadows on the walls. The quietness of the house was a stark contrast to the turmoil swirling in her mind. With Daniel incarcerated, she found herself in an eerie solitude that was both comforting and unsettling. She sipped her wine slowly, trying to savor the peace that came with being alone, yet unable to shake off the creeping sense of unease that had been haunting her lately. The silence was abruptly broken by a sharp knock on the door. Startled, Sharon glanced at the clock. Who could be visiting at this late hour? Setting her glass down, she moved cautiously towards the door. Peering through the peephole, she saw no one. Another knock echoed, louder this time, more insistent. Her heart pounded as she hesitated before unlocking the door. As she opened it, a chilling breeze swept into the room, and there stood Heather, her face pale and smeared with blood. Her eyes burned with a haunting intensity, and a twisted smile played on her lips. Sharon gasped, stumbling backward. "Why did you kill me?" Heather's voice was a haunting whisper that seemed to echo from all directions. Sharon's mind raced. This couldn't be real. Heather was gone. I didn't mean to, she stammered, her voice barely above a whisper. Fear gripped her, but she forced herself to stand her ground. "Please, forgive me," she pleaded, tears welling up in her eyes. Heather stepped forward, leaving a trail of bloody footprints on the wooden floor. "Your guilt won't bring me back," she hissed. Sharon closed her eyes tightly, willing the apparition to disappear. "This isn't real," she told herself. "You're just a figment of my imagination." Summoning her courage, Sharon opened her eyes and met Heather's gaze. "If you're truly here, then help Daniel," she said firmly. "He's suffering for something he didn't do." The ghostly figure flickered, her form wavering like a mirage. "You think you can command me?" Heather sneered. A sudden surge of defiance rose within Sharon. "Leave me alone," she shouted. "If you're alive, show yourself to the world and free Daniel. If not, then let me be." Her voice echoed through the house, and for a moment, there was only silence. Then, as quickly as she had appeared, Heather vanished. The room was empty once more, but the air was thick with tension. Sharon sank to the floor, her body trembling. Was this a hallucination? A dream? She couldn't be sure anymore. The lines between reality and illusion were blurring, and she felt herself teetering on the edge of sanity. In the days that followed, Sharon couldn't shake the feeling of being watched. Shadows seemed to move in the corners of her eyes, and whispers filled the silence of her home. She began to question everything. Had someone dressed up as Heather to torment her? It seemed plausible. After all, in their world, deceit was a common currency. Determined to uncover the truth, Sharon started investigating. She retraced her steps, revisiting the places where her past intertwined with Heather's. At the local cafe, she overheard whispers about a woman resembling Heather seen near the outskirts of town. Could Heather be alive? The possibility sent a chill down her spine. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, Sharon received an anonymous letter slipped under her door. The message was cryptic: "Meet me where it all began." Her mind raced back to the abandoned warehouse by the docks, the place where her fateful encounter with Heather had occurred. Against her better judgment, Sharon decided to go. Clad in a dark coat, she navigated through the fog-laden streets towards the warehouse. The structure loomed ahead, its dilapidated exterior a testament to forgotten times. Pushing the creaky door open, she stepped inside. "Hello," her voice echoed in the vast emptiness. The silence was deafening. Suddenly, footsteps sounded behind her. She spun around to face the figure emerging from the shadows. It was Heather, alive, but bearing the scars of their last encounter. "Heather?" Sharon's voice was a mix of shock and relief. "You're alive." Heather's expression was unreadable. "Did you think it would be that easy?" she asked coldly. "That you could just erase me?" Sharon took a tentative step forward. I thought you were gone. Why are you doing this?" Heather's eyes flashed with anger. "You left me for dead, Sharon." Now, it's your turn to feel what it's like to be haunted by your own actions. Realization dawned on Sharon. You've been tormenting me, she whispered. Why? To what end? To make you confess, Heather snapped. Daniel is innocent, yet he's paying the price for your deeds. Sharon's defenses crumbled. I never meant for any of this to happen, she said desperately. It was an accident. Tell that to Daniel, Heather retorted. He's rotting in a cell because of you.